Hi everyone, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. With our day related to ankles. Our topic for today is comfort. So I think that with food, comfort is kind of the main goal of the spirit of Taurus. Because of this energy of Taurus of needing to be in comfort, let's talk about what comfort means and what are our points of view of comfort today and how we can understand and use it in a positive way and which are the negative ways in which we can see it. Comfort comes from con, that means with, and fortis, that means strong. So it means the unity of strength. So let's go into this. Now that I have, so you can have the etymology written here. The word comfort comes from con, meaning with, and fortis, meaning strong. So this means that all the forces are together. What is the intention of this word? That we usually apply the forces in order to move forward, to do something in the outside, but here we are doing exactly the opposite. We are putting all the forces together in one place. This is why we are not doing anything outside. We are just holding the forces inside. That's why comfort means to grab and hold all the forces in one place. The word conformism is given by comfort, which means coming from the word con, meaning with, formis, meaning form or shape, and ismus, that means to move. So to conform, conformism would be the idea of having one shape. So being the person that is not willing to transform. The one that is not willing to transform will conform. Okay, so you are not transforming yourself, you are conforming yourself, which is to hold in yourself only one shape. These words are the ones that we will try to explain from its positive way of seeing it and the negative way of seeing it. So once we have been talking about energy and how the universe administrates energy. Everything in the universe is trying to administrate energy in order to keep going. So for sure, we know the aspect of the universe in which we say the universe is transforming constantly. But the main key of the universe is to save energy. The conservation of energy is one of the main laws of the universe. Everything is trying to conserve energy. Everything is trying to save the energy for itself, because when you transform, it takes a lot of energy. So the universe tries to keep the shape in order to hold the energy inside and not to waste energy in the process of transformation. So this is why all structures in the universe are conforming itself in systems to hold, save, and conserve energy. This is why I can understand that the universe is kind of the biggest conformist in the existence. Okay, so I don't know if this changed your point of view of the universe now, but actually this is how it works. It is trying to conform structures to energy. But what happened? That in this movement of trying to store energy, the particles are trying to energy from other atoms, from other structures, so they could shape their own form and wrap the energy. So they can conform themselves. So what happened in this movement trying to store energy, is that in this movement of the particles, they create waves taking the energy from the others. And these waves create different frequencies. And those frequencies move the environment, forcing the other particles to restore that structure so they can take the shape again. Imagine this now. We have here three pens, and in this one, 2 pens. Okay, so this one here needs energy because it has a lack of energy. So it will reach positive here, and it will find the negative in this one. So they will attract the negative to create balance and conform the shape to storage energy. But this one here now doesn't have it. So it will do as much as possible to try to get it back or to look it into another structure. What we have here is that in this constant seek for conformity, to have a storage of energy, we also have constant transformation. Conformation, transformation, conformation, transformation is constant. We can understand here that the universe is constantly looking to be conformed. Conformism. Because it tries to conform shapes all the time. But at the same time, it creates instability of waves and vibrations trying to do that. So that's why also the universe is a constant transformation. The universe is both things at the same time. This same structure goes all along the universe and existence. So the same example as I did with the pens, now we're going to do it in nature. In nature, this structure evolves in plants and animals. So everyone is trying to reach a shape. For example, a plant designs a shape to storage energy. A plant grows and brings light, storage energy, photonic energy inside. But what happened? The environment also designed another shapes, which are animals, that are trying to reach that energy. So they will eat the plant. So the plant will live an environment that is changing. So that's why the plant has to adapt to grow up, so the animals cannot eat the leaves, to be stronger, or to have some thorns, or to be poisoned. So it can adapt to the changing environment that is also looking for the energy. So as you see, everything in nature will be looking to conform at the same time that it's trying to adapt according to the changes in the environment. So we humans, we did exactly the same. We humans evolved into this shape, so we conform ourselves as humans, as we know ourselves. And with this shape, I have to try to reach as much energy as possible and save as much energy as possible. So now what happened? If we humans have evolved having shapes, forms, so we conform ourselves as a living being, we eventually we did something different and transcendental than just administering the energy in our forms. We started to think. We started to be aware of ourselves. We started to look for different ways in order to administrate that energy that we have. So we started to separate ourselves from the realms of the vegetals, from the realms of the animals, which are realms that tries to storage that energy within, and we started to storage this energy outside, like in cultures, in farms, in a society, in stories, in knowledge. We started to design tools from the outer body that it doesn't include our physical shape. It includes our intelligence and how can we manifest it outside. So this means that we found other mediums, ways in which we can do things, not only by changing our form, but also by designing ways, mediums to do that. And that's when we get used to one medium to make something, to store energy, is when we designed the idea of CONFORT. Because we put all our strength, our forces into one way. We say, oh, this is the way that helps us. So all our strength, all our forces will be dedicated into this way to storage energy. And that's what we call CONFORT. Okay? So now we can understand from here how we came from the concept of conformation to the concept of CONFORT. So as you see, till now, I haven't spoke about this process being like lazy. In our conception today, speaking about CONFORT or conformity, we used to relate these two words with being lazy. But I haven't spoken about it. As you see, it's just ways to storage energy. Now try to go into understand why we relate these concepts with being lazy. By nature, we conform ourselves in order to storage and save energy. And by intelligence, we find ways to put all the strength together in order to save energy, that we call CONFORT. So throughout history, what we have done is to create cultures, traditions, ceremonies that helps us keep the ways in order to feel comfortable. And why is that? Because to get comfort, to get comfort is you get that when you accomplish to get the three needs. So the need of food, the need of sleeping, and the need of reproduction. So when you reach these three by your work, you get a comfort. What is this comfort? It's not to stay not doing anything. It's to work in order to get these three. You see the difference? So let's repeat it again just in case. Remember, comfort for the history of humanity is not related with laziness like we are related today. Comfort is related to the product that we get through the hard work that reach to give us food, sleep, and production. Okay? So it's a very different point of view from what we have today. So through centuries, ideas of the Indo-European cultures from Asia and Europe started to design these traditions of work as something important to get comfort. So everyone had to work hard in order to get comfort. So these cultures create this tradition that you will only get comfort if you keep doing the same way and using your forces into one straight line. That's why we created this kind of traditions in which we feel comfort doing the same things. And we feel that I feel comfortable not changing the ways because until now they have worked for me. You see how it came in the history? So it's a tradition that for ourselves it worked because we are alive because of repeating that. So we don't want to change that comfort. So throughout history, what cultures and religion will start to design is the conformation of a structure that can storage and save energy with many individuals on a certain spot that repeats the same comfort. And that's what we call a region or a zone of comfort. So this comfort zone goes from the cultural limits of a country to the clans, from the clans to the families, from the families to the individuals, that keeps the comfort according to their feelings, their beliefs, thoughts, and so on. So what happened? That in the last centuries, or 1,000 years or so, the empires fell down, the Middle Ages started, and the times of principates, of feudalism and kingdoms started again during a period of time in which a lot of people suffer from hunger. And even if they work every day, they would never reach the comfort zone. There was so much difficulties to get comfort, to get a shape to storage energy, that we started to transform a lot. So a lot of changes were happening during that period. During this process of constant transformation, revolutions started. And also the revolutions brought independence, mainly in the Americas. So all the people from the old world started to move to the Americas, reaching for the American dream, in which all these people realized that in that land, anyone could do whatever and reach comfort, because there were a lot of opportunities. We started to call these lands like the lands of opportunities. In reality, the dream was much more like a nightmare, because it was not a perfect dream, terrible, even though it was better than the reality they were living in Europe or in other parts of the world. So besides philosophy, because we can discuss about philosophy and if it was wrong or right, let's go to the facts. In Europe, the people were in the feudalism, and all the people had no opportunities to grow because of that system of absolutism. But in the Americas, in all the countries of Americas, the feudalism was a bit less, and of the republics, all the people were able to grow even if they were poor. So that created many opportunities. So that's why in the Americas, people started to be much more rich and have much more comfort. So we can say that the countries in the Americas that today we have social crisis, in that time they were like the most important countries, the rich countries. The excess of resources gave something to people, which was time. Because a lot of people didn't need to work all day in order to reach things. So they started to have time, so much more comfort. So once we started to evolve and we solved the problems of food, sleep, and produce, we found a new one, which was to have fun. Time. We had a bit more of time. We didn't have to work so much to reach these three. So we had much more time to have fun. And remember that free time, in many periods of the history, it was not just to play. It was to read, to learn something that was related with get fun. After what happened to this situation of having much more time, wars comes, and with that, the second industrial revolution, the technology expanding in the world, and suddenly we have to readapt again. Every time that the humanity lived a crisis, we need to transform. We couldn't have conformism. We need to transform. So suddenly machines started to work instead of humans, and humans needed to transform into a different kind of jobs. In the last century, we have lived one of the biggest transformations in the entire humanity. And that technology transformation brought a lot and much more free time. In the last century and a half, we accomplished to get weekends. We accomplished to get work times. we started to have much more free time. And as much the technology starts to evolve, the less we need to put effort into get a result. We started to have holidays, something really difficult 2 centuries back. Because of this change of concept of time, we started to relate comfort and confirmation with the idea of not doing anything, not willing to do something because we don't need to. And that started to be lazy. Laziness is related to this idea now, but just now. So important to understand this. These words, comfort and conformism, are not related with laziness. We related today with laziness because of our environment and our context in history. But the origin of the words and the concept itself of comfort and conformism, they are just systems that keep the tradition of doing something to get a benefit from it. Very different. So get this idea. Life is a constant of stability and movement. Stability, movement. Stability, movement. So life is a constant of conformation and transformation. Conformation, transformation. Conformation, transformation. So we cannot be all the time transforming ourselves, neither all the time being the same. It's a constant that we do. Evolution is the constant of these two. Without stability, without conformation, we wouldn't be where we are now. Without transformation, we wouldn't have reached where we have reached to be now. Here is when we understand the concept of conformism. The problem here, the mistake that we used to do in this process of evolution, is that we get attached to the forms that we got. When we say, this is the form that I got, and this is the best form, so I'm really afraid of changing that form because I don't know if I will lose everything. If I change this, what I'm going to do next. So that's why I rather to grab to this shape, to this form. So pay attention to this. Conformity. Conformity is one of the aspects of evolution. Is one of the aspects of evolution. Conformism is the conflict of the attachment to one of those forms. You see the difference? Conformity is a link in evolution. Conformism is the attachment to one of the forms. This is why we relate conformism with the idea of laziness, of not being willing to transform, to do something different. Conformism comes from the fear that I have to change and the security that I feel in the traditions that kept me alive. And we cannot judge someone that is conformist. We cannot judge a person like this, because that person is afraid of change. It's not choosing to be like that. It's afraid of what would happen. we wouldn't be unconditional lovings if we judge someone with fear. So now let's see this. If conformity and transformation is a constant of evolution, this means that in order to go with the evolution, I have to recognize that I should not be in only one spot, that conformation and transformation lives within me. And that means that I am the way, I have the strength, the forces live in me in order to transform and to evolve. And for that, I have to do something very important, which is to feel comfortable with myself. Feel the comfort in me. Not in another place, not in something outside, but in me. Many people doesn't feel comfortable with themselves. The shapes, the forms that they have, with the thinkings, the place where they live, things that they do, the emotions that feel. We don't feel comfortable with that, many of us. And because we don't feel comfortable with ourselves, we reach for this comfort somewhere else. And that somewhere else is what we call the comfort zone. The comfort zone basically is each one of the moments of stability. And I finish with this. So look into this like if life is like a little train where we have moments of stability, which are the E's, stability, 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 and the lines are movement, movement, movement. Okay, so we are in this train, stability, movement, stability, movement. Imagine this, that here, every one of these stability points is a conformation, which means that you take a form, that you get a shape, a form for something. And every line will be a transformation, which means to go from one form to another. It's easy, I guess, with this picture. So this would be life is a constant of conformation, transformation, conformation, transformation, and so on. So this region here, the zone, is a place like a train station where the movement stops. So we can call zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4, zone 5, okay? Or different train stations where we are gonna stop. So these zones will be called the zone of conformation. And because all strength that I am putting, all the forces of the movement are stuck here and reach this place, that's what we call the comfort zone. Comfort zone. So in order for me to move forward in life, I have to go out from the comfort zone. And the reason why we don't go out from the comfort zone is because we have no idea what is expecting for us in the other stations. So that's why you are afraid to move forward. And from where this fear comes from the things that I have lived in the previous stations. So how do I get out from this? It's not watching ahead, like people saying the future will be better, don't we move forward? No, that's not the way to do it. It would be hard. The best way to do it is look backwards to the previous stations, to look behind and to see all the stations that I have lived and all the stations that I have left to reach where I am. So I can recognize that I have left many comfort zones and now I am better than before. That's what will give me the inertia to move forward into the next step. And with this, I want to say to all of you, don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed of feeling in a comfort zone. Don't be ashamed to feel that you are conformist. Maybe perhaps you are just in one of those train stations. Let's go to information for today. The vibration for today is wah, 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 wah. The statement for today is, I am origin of every destiny.